Hey YouTube, I'm about to head to the store. This week I'm gonna make a anniversary cake with raspberry filling and white chocolate buttercream icing. Last week on the vlog I talked about doing things I love more and not comparing myself to other people, staying in my lane, thriving at what I'm good at. So I'm gonna bake something every single week. I'm not sure if it'll always be on the vlog, but this week it is. Come with me, I'm about to head to the store and then I'm gonna come home and get started. Okay, so like I said earlier, today I'm gonna make an anniversary cake with raspberry filling and white chocolate buttercream frosting. I'm gonna take a few shortcuts today on the actual cakes themselves by using boxed cake mix because sometimes they can be really, really good if you spice them up enough. And yeah, they have all the ingredients in there that give you a really fluffy cake that rises every single time. So there's no reason not to use them on occasion. This one is really good if you just want a white cake base. Certainly, I would not suggest just like dumping this in a bowl and following the instructions on the back. You're gonna end up with a fine cake, but that's not gonna give you the taste that we're going for. That's kind of like, I don't know, more developed. But it's a really, really, really good start. So the first thing I'm gonna do, also don't mind my outfit, I already have throw up on me from today and shorts from when I was a student athlete. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grease 4 9-inch cake rounds. I am using coconut oil and a towel, like a paper towel. This is so easy. You just literally rub it in here so that the cake doesn't stick. We're gonna do it to all 4. And then I like to use parchment rounds on the bottom of my cake so that we avoid any risk of sticking, and it makes the tops really flat so that when we go to stack them later, they're even. So they just look like this. Wow, if you don't throw them across your kitchen, you open them and you stick them on the bottom of your pan. Make sure they're flat or else the top of your cake's gonna have ridges. You can get these at any craft store or baking store. So I think I got these ones at Michael's and they come with like 24 in a pack. So they could last you a pretty long time. It looks like this when it's done. So like I said, I'm just gonna do all 4 of these and then we're gonna start getting the cake batter together. Okay, so I realized for this recipe, I need buttermilk, but I forgot to buy buttermilk at the store. Fear not, you can make buttermilk at home. So for this recipe, I need 2½ cups of buttermilk. So I'm gonna pour in 2½ cups of just regular milk, which honestly, this is a miracle that it's at my house. I never have milk in my house, but because I made a cake last week, I have milk. I don't even know where I put the lid to that. So you're gonna pour in your milk. Set it here. Lemon, juicer, I need a knife. For every cup of milk, you're gonna use 1 tablespoon of acid. So you can use lemons or vinegar, whatever. So you're just gonna juice this and we're gonna pour, since this is 2½ cups, we're gonna pour 2½ tablespoons into here and then we're gonna let it set for 10 minutes and then we'll have homemade buttermilk. So like I said, I'm just gonna juice this really quick. Fun fact, juicing a room temperature lemon is much easier than juicing a cold lemon. So if you think about it in advance, you're always gonna be better off setting it out. Let the juice go all the way down. Okay. Save the pulp if you feel so inclined. I do not. So 1 tablespoon, you can't see it, it's not on camera. There we go. 2 tablespoons, and then about ½ a tablespoon. And that's the juice of 1 lemon, so you really don't need a ton. And then I'm just gonna grab my baby whisk, which is somewhere. Whisk it all together. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
And then we'll have buttermilk. Okay, so my buttermilk is complete. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start, I'm still drinking my coffee. I'm gonna start putting together the cake mix. So we're gonna need 2 boxes of cake mix. I'm just using white cake mix. we're gonna do a box of vanilla pudding, half a cup of butter, we're gonna melt this, and 4 large eggs, okay? That's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna put this in an electric mixer. We're gonna mix it on low speed until everything is just damp. Then we're gonna up that speed to medium speed and mix for about 3 to 4 minutes until everything's well combined and really, really smooth. Okay, so everything's really well incorporated now. We're just beating on medium speed for 3 minutes. Also, ignore my cords. Eventually, I will move those. But yeah, so we're just gonna beat this until it's super nice and smooth. We're not gonna see any more of those chunks. While that cake batter is incorporating, I'm just gonna use the smallest part of a grater. I'm gonna get the zest of half a lemon, just, like this. And then when that is done and it's super smooth, we're gonna stir in, not mix in, we're gonna stir in, which means by hand, the zest of this lemon, and then a tablespoon of vanilla extract and a teaspoon of almond extract. Almond extract is really strong, so you don't need a ton of it. And then after we do that, we're just gonna spoon it into our baking pans and pop it in the oven. Okay, so I've mixed for 3 or 4 minutes now. You'll see that the color's changed and that batter is really, really smooth. So now I'm gonna mix in my lemon zest, my almond extract, and my vanilla extract, and then I'm gonna separate it into the pans. Okay, so I'm gonna smooth these out a little bit more. Then I'm gonna pop them in a 350-degree oven for 35 minutes or until a toothpick comes out completely clean. While those are baking, we're gonna clean up, but make sure you set out your butter for your buttercream that we're gonna be making later. So all of the cakes just came out of the oven. They're done baking. They look so good. We're gonna let these cool completely and then we'll get to cake assembly. So we're gonna make the icing. The first thing we're gonna do is melt about 1 cup of white chocolate chips in the microwave, and then we're gonna let it cool so that we can incorporate it into our buttercream frosting. The white chocolate is melted. We're just gonna set this aside, and while that cools off a little bit, we're gonna cream butter with a paddle mixer, or the paddle attachment in a stand mixer for 2 minutes until it's light and fluffy. While we're creaming our butter, we want to sift about 6 cups of powdered sugar. I did this in advance because it's super slow and y'all don't care to see that on video, but you see it's really light, there's no clumps here. So we're gonna incorporate that shortly. All right, so we've mixed this butter for about 2 minutes on high speed. We're gonna lower the speed to about medium, and we're gonna slowly incorporate the white chocolate. So we're just gonna do it like this until it's all in there. You're probably gonna need to take a silicone spatula and kind of push everything down the sides. For some reason, I cannot find mine, so I'm gonna use a wooden spoon. It'll work fine for the time being, but I've got to find that spatula. It's so crazy. Now we're gonna shift this mixer down to low speed. I turned it off for the sake of talking. But we're gonna mix it on low speed and slowly incorporate the 6 cups of sifted powdered sugar. After we do that, I'm saying it now because obviously this mixer's loud, we will pour in 4 tablespoons of heavy cream. Then we're gonna up the speed and we're gonna mix it for 5 to 6 minutes until it's light and fluffy. That's how we're gonna get the light, delicious buttercream flavor. So we'll flip it to low speed. We'll start incorporating this powdered sugar. We're gonna scrape the sides as we go. Now that everything's incorporated, the heavy cream, the powdered sugar, I'm gonna add a splash of vanilla. I'm gonna turn this on to medium-high speed for 5 to 6 minutes until this is nice and fluffy and white. Okay, so our buttercream is finished. You'll see that it's white. I found my spoon or spatula and it's fluffy. I'm trying to get some on my spoon, but I'm not looking. See, it's thick, it doesn't flip right off. So yum. Now we're gonna separate some of this and put it in a separate bowl. And then we're gonna keep the buttercream that we're gonna use for the filling in here so that we can incorporate the raspberries. I've separated out the buttercream that'll go on the outside of the cake. Now I'm gonna dump in my raspberries. We're just gonna incorporate this till it's well incorporated, and then I will start cake assembly. We've got a beautiful pink white chocolate raspberry filling, and now we just get started on cake assembly. Alright, so our layers are assembled. It looks a little bit crazy right now, but it always does. You just want to make sure that at this point it's straight, all of that. Now I'm going to come in with the normal buttercream. We already have the raspberry buttercream here. And we are going to do a crumb coat. So we're going to fill all these gaps. We're going to make this really flat and even. We'll stick it in the fridge so it hardens up, and then we'll do one final coat. Update, my center cake cracked. I'm not sure how, but it's created a leaning disaster. So I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Update, my center cake cracked while I was assembling, and this is the result. So no cake this week, just part of the deal. Stay tuned for next week. Oh, there it is, totally cracked and falling apart. You know, this is the reality of baking sometimes.